Hi, I'm McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups. And today we have the topic, make your ex regret dumping you. Now, I'll be honest, part of me would not encourage such a narrative. But for some people it would work, depending on your makeup and who you are. It's a very popular video title in this space. I'll review a couple of the other videos. I believe it's Shaun Zachary, who's real popular right now, coming up. Good for him. I think he spit some good game on the breakup space. And then we have the great Brad Browning. So we'll review those in a moment. But I'll give you my take first about this. Make your ex regret dumping you. So, doing this for coming up on 5 years now, this October. Talking to people about their breakups, their relationship issues in different situations. I could tell you, this isn't going to really make you feel better. But if it motivates you, if this is how you get motivated, all the more power to you. So, if you have a specific thing that they said to you, so this isn't something that is going to line up or help everyone. But like I always say, every breakup's a little bit different. Every breakup's got its own nuance, its own story to it. And if your situation is one of those where they really cut you down, like something simple like calling you fat, out of shape, ugly, well then maybe, I'm going to make them regret losing me. I'm going to get back in the gym, and that's your fuel. That's your fire. Okay. I can dig that. I can roll with that. If you just are, and this is what I'm always going to come back to in a lot of my videos, like, what's your situation? The generalized advice, this is how I'm going to get revved up. I'm going to make them regret they ever dumped me. Now, if you get wrapped up into that, narrative too much, and it's not who you are, you're a nice person by nature, or you're so focused on getting revenge or hurting them, it's not really going to help you. But I'd say, like, the positive from this, if you take this route, it motivates you to be a better person, to do better, and to get better. So, I remember out of a breakup, an ex calling me lazy. Not during the breakup, but maybe. This is what's really interesting. Before a breakup, there's little breadcrumbs and hints. Things aren't going well, usually. And there's some comments that bubble up after the breakup, and you're like, I remember when they said this or that. And depending if it's a true statement, maybe you have to look at it and you're like, maybe I have been a little bit lazy, which is a very broad statement. Lazy about what? Lazy about everything? No. Lazy about exercise? Those kinds of things? It's different, right? So if you're going to, go to the gym and you're like, I'm going to make my ex regret dumping me, and I'm going to look so good and so fresh and have my six-pack app, good for you. If that's the motivation you have, I think that's great. Okay? If that's what you want to do. The way this is being, it's not for everyone. It depends on the kind of nature you are, the way you are. Now, the other part of this is a lot of why you're motivated by your ex dumping you and then making them want to regret it is because you were hurt and you feel slighted. You feel like you have a chip on your shoulder that maybe you're better than they gave you credit for. So those are reasons to motivate you, to get you back on deck, to get you off your ass, to get you to a point where you're not just being a victim. The negatives would be, if you just focus on this, you're really still focused on them. And to me, the alternative is, you want to get to a point where you really don't care if they regret breaking up with you, because in most cases, in my experience, once you've broken up, not always, and this doesn't always fly well, because a lot of the breakup channels, all they do, get your ex back, get your ex back. They just pound that down your throat. And that's what you really want in the moment. But in my experience, a lot of times it's not the best thing for you. A lot of people are chasing bad relationships. They're also chasing away loneliness. But they're not assessing the problems and fixing the problems, or just understanding that the relationship's not going to change. So if you focus on this narrative, I'm going to make them regret losing me, it really is still focusing on them. Now, if you just have it in the back of your head when you're, going for a jog, like, yeah, I'm going to look better and they're going to regret. Okay. But to me, the promised land is when you just don't care anymore. You're seeing other women, or for women, you're seeing other men, or seeing other partners, whatever you want to call it. And you just no longer have any kind of worry about them getting back with you. That's the promised land, not, oh, I hope they see my face and regret dumping me. I mean, I've never had that feeling. I've been hurt. I've missed an ex or two. But wanting to make them regret dumping you, like I said, it depends on the circumstances. And tell me in the comments, we got 8 on deck, if you've had a situation where someone broke up with you and you felt like you would really be vindicated, you would feel better by making them regret it. And then on the flip side, how are you going to have evidence that, especially females, they're never going to let you know that they regret breaking up with you. They would never show those cards. So, like, that's the other part of this. How are you going to have proof that they regret breaking up with you? Through a secondhand info? They're not going to call you up and go, like, now that you've been going to the gym, I really regret being with you, or not breaking up with you. Now, a lot of times when someone comes to that realization, it's years later, and they don't say it that way. They might allude to it or hint to it, but they wouldn't just come out and say it in most cases. So what are you really chasing? But this is a narrative, like I said, if you punch this in on YouTube, there's, 100 videos. And they stay focused on it. But you need to really get to the bottom of, if someone said, well, I want to make them regret losing me. All right, well, why do you want to do that specifically? What's your intention? Because that's really important. But to me, it's like, don't you just want to get to a point where you don't even care whether they regret it or not? Like I said, people want people to feel what they feel. So the natural reaction is you're just wanting to hurt them because they hurt you. All right, so I have a couple videos to review. I haven't seen them all. I actually haven't watched these completely, so I'll be watching them fresh with you. As I mentioned yesterday, we had a new style video that I came out with that was audio only. If you want to check that out, Eduardo Martinez. If you want to check that out on the channel, it's a long form breakup story / point why people make shitty assumptions during your breakup. I thought it was pretty well done. Patting my own back here. But yesterday, it was the people on the live stream liked it. So check that out on the channel. It's already up. Maybe we'll drop another one of those. And it's kind of a sample of writing from a book I'm working on. Okay, so the first one will be that we'll review here is Shaun Zachary, I believe his name is. This guy's doing really well in the space. His channel jumped quite a bit. Let's see here. No. She will regret losing you. So let's take a look at this. 197,000 views since June. So this is powerful video here. And let me know how this resonates with you guys and gals. Like I said, I haven't watched it yet, so I'll be watching it fresh with you. But I'm curious because this is a common theme video. Let's take a look at it.
Do not chase her. Do not give her any of your emotion. You're done with her. It's time to move on. It's time to upgrade. Ice in my veins
years I've been driving this train, years in this lane.
Gentlemen, greetings and welcome back to another episode. Now today, I'm going to talk to you about why she will regret losing you. Now fellas, if your girl recently broke things off or she gave you the exit slip, the exit ticket, she kicked you to the curb, chances are she will regret losing you. As long as you continue to make the improvements on yourself. Now, first of all, one thing you have to understand is that women, they generally make their decisions based on emotion. Oftentimes, they don't think things through. They're working off of how they feel. And see, their feelings, they fluctuate. They go up and down. They go left and right. Whatever the way the wind's blowing, that's what she's thinking today. Therefore, you cannot get upset or emotional based on the things that she does. That's a losing battle. See, women, they are fantastic at choosing the wrong men. Oh, they love chasing the bad boy around. Even though you're the nice guy. You treat her well. You do anything for her. But the issue is, you're a little bit too nice. You do too much for her to the point where you're kind of smothering and you're a little bit annoying. And see, she wants what she can't have. That's why it's best that you leave and you make sure your time with her is scarce. You need to be a scarce asset in her life. If this woman does cut you off, if she breaks up with you, the number one way to make her regret losing you is by giving her ass radio silence. You're done. You're not putting any emotions into chasing behind her because that's only going to push her farther and farther away. The more you chase, the more she runs. You may have heard it before, but this is a great analogy that women are like cats. What happens if you chase after a cat? Oh yeah, that cat is going to run away from you and go and hide under a bed or under a chair somewhere. But what happens when you're just chilling on the couch and you're minding your business and you're not even thinking about that goddamn cat? What does that cat do, fellas? Oh yeah, that cat comes up to you and is rubbing against your leg and purring and then jumps up in your lap. Oh, and now that cat wants all the attention in the world. And that's the same way it is with women when dealing with them. If she breaks things off with you, do not ask her back. Do not beg for her back. Do not cry. You give her silence. You move on. You get the process started on self-improving and replacing her. You do not get down on yourself. You focus on becoming successful and the best version of yourself. You see, because when you start to level up, now she wants you back. Now she regrets losing you. Now she's watching your stories and she sees you've been in the gym every day. And no, you're not trying to make her jealous. You're not posting stories of you with other women. You're remaining mysterious. You're making her think. And the fact that you haven't reached back out to her, the fact that you haven't showed her any emotion, now her mind is wondering like, oh, goddamn, did I make the right decision? Maybe he is a boss. Maybe he is that dude, that guy I've been looking for the whole time. Maybe he's not as needy as I thought he was. But you don't take her back, fellas. Because see, women, they have a really hard time with accountability. They have a really hard time admitting when they were wrong and that they did you wrong. And they will rarely apologize. You know what they'll do? They'll blame you. They'll tell you all the ways that you messed up. They'll tell you how shitty of a boyfriend you were and that they made all their decisions based around the things that you did. Oh no, but she's...
Thanks for mentioning that, Riflin. Doing this for a while and working with men and women, not taking the angle if I'm with men or I'm with women as a coach. And it's probably about 60-40, almost 50-50, depending on the month of who I talk to. She's right, though, Rob. There's a lot of women out there or men coaches that are teaching the same thing for women to do, or saying, here's the interesting thing about this. And I like this guy, Shaun Zachary. I like his approach. I looked up his website. I think he used to be a teacher. He has some good things. Definitely good video production. The man that begs gets nothing in return. I agree with that. What's interesting about this thing is it's redundant for me because I know a lot of this stuff already, being in this space so long. So when I hear it, I feel like, doesn't everyone always know this already? But it's just packaged and rewired in different places. So I totally get it. So, to review, to regret making your ex dump you as a man, get in the gym, go radio silence or no contact. Remember that women are emotional. Those are kind of the keys here. And there's truth to all that. So like nothing he said here where I was like, oh my God, this is, it's just interesting now though. I think Rye Flint's right. There's some women out there and men out there that are coaches for women that are giving the same advice. The only thing I'd add is like women are never accountable. Some are. And this is why I'm going to come back to this again and again, that a lot of times, pushing a narrative that's, well, that's how women are, that's how men are. This is a problem right now because people aren't taking account for their individual problems in their relationships. They're going, oh, you're a woman, you do this. Oh, you're a man, you do this. No, what's the problem? This is what I always get into. Women are like this. The men are like this. There's some truth to that, Rob. There's some truth to that. And the interesting thing, though, is I think what Rye Flint was saying, like, be mysterious or don't call them back. What if both people are playing that game? It's kind of interesting, right? My whole thing is like, get your breakup assessed individually, please. All right? I mean, if you're just going on this, but those are, get in the gym, look better. If they see you on social media, that's a plus because you're doing better. Okay, I'm with it. Good talk. All right, let's continue this on and see if there's any little gems hidden in here.
She's not going to take any accountability for the fact that she was cheating on you for the last 6 months. Or the fact that every time she goes out on a girls' night, she's giving her number out to 4 or 5 different guys. Oh no, she doesn't take accountability for any of those things. It's all your fault because you're too needy. And you're always there for her. So she's gonna try to manipulate you, fellas. But once she gets back out in the dating world and she starts fucking with the Chads and the Tyrones and the Pookies and Ray Rays, she's gonna realize quick that these dudes out here aren't about a goddamn thing. And these dudes are selling her a dream the same way she's selling your ass a dream. So now, after she gets pumped and dumped, she's gonna start feeling bad about herself and she's gonna make her way and circle right on back around to you, the nice guy. And she's gonna realize that there aren't many guys out there who are gonna treat her right and who are gonna respect her and wife her.
So this, if you want to hop on, B, you can. So this particular video, it's a little bit more about she will regret losing you, but specifically if you're too nice a guy and you got a woman that's going out too often, is what he's saying, not respecting you, giving her number out. So this is more of a specific case. So it's a little anecdotal. Well, she's giving her number out to other guys. She's staying out with friends too late. And then when she's done with you, she's going to get pumped and dumped and she's going to go out with multiple guys. So that's a narrative. That really does happen. Absolutely. I agree with that. The idea that that's what happens in every relationship isn't true. And this is what happens. Someone will watch it and they'll go, oh yeah, that's, It's not always the case, because I talk to women and men at the other sides of both of this. That being said, if she's one of these type of women that, let's just say that she is the type. Let's just say that she is the type that, It's not loud? Too loud. Oh, that's what it is. Let's just say that she is the type that is one of these that's dating, like going out to the clubs or whatever. She's seen other guys, and then she breaks up with you and she gets pumped and dumped. Why would you even worry about making her regret leaving you? Because she's just trash anyways. I mean, that's just, this is one of those things, the example of what you're giving, if that's the case with your girl, which is possible, that's one of those ones, just erase it, just delete them. I mean, it's done, because I don't want to spend any energy or time chasing some woman that is getting pumped and dumped by what'd he say, Ray, Pookie, Chad.
Are those the new names?
Yeah, she's getting teamed on. So, right? So it's like, is that someone you want to make regret being with you? Or are you just like, no, that was a bad experience, I'm done? Like, I don't want to be. And here's the thing. Here's the interesting thing about that stuff. All right? This idea, like, I'm going to make her regret losing me. And she's one of those. That's the example, that she's getting pumped and dumped and she's out with a bunch of different guys. And that sounds like a situation where, you know what? Good riddance. C'est la vie. I wouldn't be thinking like she'll regret losing me. I'd be thinking we're going in two different directions. We're not even in the same lane. We're not even heading in the same, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to associate with her. And guess what? Here's the crazy thing about that. Like I said, I like this guy's channel. I like his take. I like his video production. It's pretty cool. But I would say this, if she's one of those in one of these situations where she's doing those things and that's your feel, and then you actually break up, and she, she's seen other guys and you were too nice to say, I think when you're out of it, you focusing on trying to, and you're a nice guy, you still gotta, here's the thing, what people don't think about. You're not going to be not nice anymore if that's your nature. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to just stop being nice. So then if you try to get in the snake pit with the girl that kind of played you, once you break up, just get away from the snake pit. Just move on, bet on yourself, lick your wounds if you have to, start dating other women, but focusing on making her regret losing you, she's probably going to be better at that than you. That's my point. So if you get into that game, right? Let's say you post a picture or you see her at the mall and you make a wide V, like, I want her to see me right now.
That's her game first, right?
But I mean, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's okay, because I'm not saying you're low. I'm not saying you're a bad person, but you're like, oh, I'm with this girl I'm dating. Oh, I'd like her to see me. It's all right. Mm-hmm. But just know this. She's going to get you back.
Right.
She's not going to just go, oh, God, now I regret losing him. I'm going to call him and come back to him. She's probably going to go, oh, hell no. I'm going to.
What can I do?
Exactly. And this is my point. It's like, who really wins? And it's okay if you get the feeling like, I want to make her regret losing me, and that makes you focus in the gym. All right. Like, you're in the gym and you're like, fuck that.
Yeah. Use it as motivation.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Like that. But how far does it go is my question. Because, I mean, you came in this a little late, B, but
yeah.
My whole point was make her regret losing you, but how about this alternatively? Eventually, you just don't care. Mm-hmm. That's really the promised land. Like, mm-hmm. that you don't care about how she feels about it. I'm not telling you, because this is what comes up a lot. Whoever you break up with, if you had 4, 5, 7, 8 years, it's not going to be easy to just get vengeful. Like, the ideal thing is if this was like someone that you're really serious with, mm-hmm. don't try to make yourself angry. You're going to have to deal with it emotionally for a little while. Mm-hmm. Like
whatever feelings come up, like that's what they are.
Yeah, it's that, and it's like I said, you can use it as motivation, but where does it end? Mm-hmm. Because if the example he's giving of a girl that's getting, like going out with multiple guys and she starts seeing other dudes, you just want to be completely detached from that in the sense of like, but you competing, it's going to be a difficult situation for you because like I said, you might hurt her and you might get her, but then what is her next move?
Right. What's the end game there?
What if she sends you a video? Right? Like how, because you don't.
How far can people go? You don't know.
And you're the nice guy. He's saying, well, you were the nice guy.
Yeah.
Right? So there's some things you're like, I would never do that, right? And then the other person does something, you're like, wow, she did that?
She did that, and I wasn't expecting it, and then, whoa.
That's why I'm saying, like, if you're spun in this narrative, it's okay. It's just how are you channeling it? That's my only point. All right, let me finish this video.
And take her serious for a relationship like you did. And chances are, fellas, this woman probably has some type of mental illness or anxiety issue. And she doesn't know who's coming or leaving. She doesn't know up from down. Because she's so stressed out and she's so in her own head. And she's got so many different dudes that she's talking to. No matter what you did for her, no matter how many vacations you took her on, none of it matters. See, you think you've built up some tenure with all the time you put in with this woman? No, she doesn't care about that. She will leave you at the drop of a dime if the Chad she likes comes around and whispers those sweet nothings in her ear that she really wants to hear, the guy who she's really attracted to. So your only option is to move on and walk away and don't even think about this woman anymore. Because see, fellas, if you move on with your life and you level up, oh, trust me, she will regret losing you and the good thing that she had in her life. I can almost guarantee, fellas, that you will have the last laugh. When you're sitting up there and you put the work in and you've improved yourself and you're a successful man, and now you've got a woman that looks way better than she does. A woman who treats you better. A woman who's feminine and agreeable.
So I'm all for this. I'm all for the this is what's really interesting, like being in this space so long, leveling up, being successful. It's like these blanket statements. Oh, Johnny says the tonality is hilarious to me. The voice.
Him?
Yeah, that's what Johnny just said. But I'm saying that it sounds a little personal, the story. It's not just she will regret losing you. It's a type of woman that will regret losing you. A type of woman that played you, that was, more independent and this, that, and the other. And I like the idea. He's like, you'll get a more feminine woman, a better looking woman. But like, to me, if you're gonna get into that place where you do get one of these women, I won't give a fuck if she regrets losing me or not, because I would be in a better place.
You're in a way better place. Yeah.
Right? I wouldn't. That's the promised land where you're just like, if you saw her in the mall, you wouldn't be thinking, you know what to me the promised land is? I can go up and give her a hug, or I can, maybe if I'm with a new girlfriend, that wouldn't go over well depending on the girlfriend, because some women don't like that shit.
For sure.
I don't blame them. Because if you look on the flip,
right,
if she sees her ex-boyfriend and she did that, I probably wouldn't like it. It wouldn't be like a fight or anything.
Right.
But on the flip side, being able to be cordial
and nice, it's fine.
Unawkward. Now, what he's describing, though, she will regret losing. He's describing a specific case where the girl is taking you for granted, and you're a nice guy and you're a good catch, and she wants the bad boy, bad guy,
right?
And she wants to go out and sow her oats and go out with a bunch of guys. That's a specific case or storyline. And the thing is, dealing with guys in breakups directly that are nice guys, they usually can't get into the mold of like, I'm gonna make her regret losing me. It's not in their nature if they're a nice guy.
Right.
It's more like, I can't believe she did this to me.
Because I was such a nice guy. I did all
Not
these
just
things.
a nice guy. Yeah, no, it's those.
I did all these
nice
things
guys
for-
don't say I'm such a nice guy. They have what they call covert contracts, and this is No More Mr. Nice Guys, probably one of the better books on this. They go, well, I did this, I did that, and then they go, I did this, I did that. Like, why would she ever leave me, right? And it's like, you made some good points, but you didn't do those things anticipating that would keep your relationship. So what I'm saying is, if you're a nice guy, you can't change in a day. You're probably gonna have to talk to someone, right? And you're probably gonna have to break down what happened in the relationship and whatnot. And then the idea that if you go into like, I'm gonna make her regret losing me, I don't know if that.
It's kind of out of character a little bit, you know. Like if you're a really nice guy and you go down that path, it's kind of, you know, that's a departure from like who you are.
You're a nice guy. Would you take that route?
I mean, I can't see. I don't know. It's hard for me to say yes or no because I'd have to be in the situation. But
All right. Here's one thing. I could see it being a phase.
Yeah, like you go through a phase for sure.
I could see it being a phase where, like, for example, like a video with this message, like you're like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna make her regret me.
Yeah.
But in order for that to happen, there needs to be a little bit of bitterness.
Oh yeah.
And what I always find, this is what I found in my vast experience in talking to a lot of different people with breakup. You can call it anger, you can call it bitterness, you can call it her fault. But you know what's at the core root? She fucking hurt me.
Right.
That's like really hard to say, dude. You know what I mean? Like me too, if I was in that situation. I've had work situations and I get down to the bottom, it's like, you fucking hurt me, like with what you said or what you did. And people don't want to go there, and I'm not telling you to go back to your ex and go, you hurt me. I'm not saying that.
Right.
I'm saying go talk to a coach like myself or a therapist or something, and like hash that part out, but just glazing over the part where you're like hurt and going, I'm gonna make her regret losing me. If you're a Navy SEAL or you're an ex-cop,
That might be more in character.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly my like that that guy will be like, fuck that. Right? But how far are you gonna take it is another thing. Are you gonna like, you know, like post pictures and do all those things?
Gonna
'Cause
play that game. Yeah.
well, here's the other thing. Like I said, here's the thing that's not mentioned, right? Like, let's say that your mode is like, let me make her regret losing me, right? And it doesn't work. And she just keeps pounding you with pictures of what she's up to.
Right.
Because in order to make sure that you know she regrets losing you kind of have to monitor what she's up to.
Yeah. Because how you know it's
Because you're
working.
comparing, like, am I better than you are?
Right,
Off.
right.
Does that make sense? Like how? So my whole point is, like I said, to get to the place where you're like detached, not from just the feelings, but from like checking up on her and seeing what
Like
she's
I'm
up
in a
to.
good place and like it really doesn't bother me. So yeah, that's the end goal, I think.
Think about it when you leave a job, right? And like, let's say you got fired before. You never been fired before, huh?
No.
I've been fired a couple times. Probably won't talk about those stories. But, you know, afterwards, it wasn't like, I'm going to get these guys, you know, because it's like, got to find another job, dude. I didn't know it was going to go down like that. But in my head, the thing about jobs, too, is like, unless it's a career, right? It's like you're not so attached.
Yeah.
So you're not so attached.
I'll get another job. It's all good.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to this one, and then I have another one after that. We'll check what the comments say about this, because this is a really popular video.
And kind and sweet and takes great care of you and is fun to be around and pleasant to be around. Oh, she's gonna be all in her feelings then. Oh, she's gonna ask for you back then, but you don't take this woman back. You make her feel the loss of letting a man like you go. And maybe she won't do it again in the future to the next guy. But oh no, she doesn't deserve you anymore. Because now you've leveled up. And fellas, let me give you a couple quick examples of how this exact situation played out in my life. When I was a sophomore in college, there was this girl who was a friend of a friend on campus. And see, she would come up to campus, you know, every couple weeks from the suburbs to come and hang out and party and whatnot. And boy, I was just so attracted to this woman. She was so fine to me. And every time she came up there, oh yeah, I was trying to holler. And I was putting time in, and I was working her, and she wasn't really giving me any time of day because she was messing with another dude on campus. The dude who she was coming out there to see. I guess maybe they were friends. Who knows what their relationship was, but there was something going on between those two. And so she wasn't really giving me any time. She went out with me a couple times and was giving me the runaround and on some bullshit till finally I said, you know what? Fuck her. I'm done with her. I'm not taking her out anymore. I'm not wasting my time with this woman. So I completely forgot about her. And I got back on my grind. Fast forward about a year later, post-college, the dude she's talking to is now a bum. Straight bum. We're living it up in our early 20s. Oh, now she wants to come back. She wants me to holler at her. Oh, now you see how I'm living. Oh, now you want to come through. Once I completely stopped caring about this woman, now she wanted to come back and circle back around. So I said, you know what? Okay, yeah, come through. So I had her come through and she was looking fly as ever. We went out, got some drinks, and we had a great night together. And so that's an example of me playing my cards perfectly. I let her go. I forgot about her. She hit me up. We made something happen. And that's it. I completely stopped pursuing that woman. Another example I want to share with you guys was another situation from when I was in college.
I can go through a lot of these situations myself.
All right.
I mean, full disclosure, I like Shaun Zachary.
Yeah.
I checked his. This wasn't like some kind of hit piece I'm putting on. I've never seen this video. I've seen he's doing really good with his channel and stuff, and I like some of the things he does. So it's not like that. But the funny thing is like, here's what I've noticed. Some dudes are not aware of. Sometimes she's just not interested,
and it's at the moment too,
right? It's just like, you know what I mean? A woman that has options. By the way, in my own life, there's been various times where I have multiple options, and I'm picky, and I might talk to a woman that gets upset that I stop talking to her.
Right.
It goes both ways.
Sure.
And it's like the girl that came back around that he's talking about. I mean,
maybe she was just in a different place.
There's no reason, like, I don't know if she regretted losing him.
Yeah.
I think it's more like timing and circumstance. Right. That's what I always say, timing, circumstance. And who knows who he was a year earlier from a year later.
Right.
But
that's just a story he told himself, too.
Well, like, what guys don't realize sometimes when they get rejected or something like that, like, women, especially in their early 20s, we all know this, tend to have more options or more get hit on more, or if that's an old school term, to get hit on. Hollered at is the term he's using here. Right? And so they're going to be selective, dude. And maybe the other guy was better looking or had better game, whatever. But like, sounds like it was taken a little personal. Like, where like, I've talked about this before, how you handle the rejection or them not being interested or them leaving you on red. Like, have you had girls like leave you on red? I'm completely fine with it. Just like, we just don't talk anymore. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like maybe you're not interested. All right. Like, I'm confident I have other options and stuff. So it's not like, oh, this bitch.
Right.
Right? Like,
I'll show her.
Yeah, like
she's not responding to my message. I'll show her.
Yeah, like it's not even like that. It's like, and there's a lot of times when 3 months, 6 months, a year later, definitely can come back around. Definitely, at the right moment, stars line up. You guys run into each other, and this is the beauty of like when you did get rejected, not making a show of it.
Leaves the door,
Yeah, like
open.
just being like I've had girls that I thought I was talking to, and I see him with another guy, and then you're out or whatever. It's just like, all right, that's done.
Just wasn't the right time.
Like, oh, she's talking to someone else.
Yeah.
It's like, I understand when you're like in high school or something like that, or probably like your early 20s, like when he was in college, your ego's a little more fragile, like Johnny said. That's true.
That is true.
That is true, dude.
For sure.
It's way more.
You're just coming into your own. Like
you care what people think more.
Oh, absolutely.
Your friends
when you're
too.
a teen or like early 20s, like you said, you definitely do.
Like one of the greatest things when you see older people, I've talked about, it's like grandfathers, grandparents. My pop's just 73. They don't give a fuck.
They just don't care. They don't give a fuck
don't
at
give
all.
a fuck.
Yeah.
My dad doesn't give a fuck what you think about him. And it's a beautiful thing. Like someone could be like, oh, you know, your belly's hanging out of your pants. And he'll be like, oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? He's got plumber crack. Oh, yeah, I don't care. You know, it's like, whatever. It's like the older you get, the more you don't really, I think it vibes too with that kind of thing. So just, I agree with what he's saying in this video. Keep in mind, you know, holding that for a long period of time, like I said, just know where you're channeling it, I guess is what I'm saying, if that makes sense. All right.
This time I was a junior, and I met this girl at one of the street fairs in the city, and she was bad. Now, she was a couple years younger, and she was definitely in that phase where she was in that party phase. So she was bopping all around. This wasn't a woman I was trying to take serious or anything like that. I was still trying to get her. And again, she was just kind of, she was playing me to the left. So I went and hung out with her multiple times, and she never really gave me an opportunity to do anything meaningful. She was just wasting my fucking time. So again, I got fed up, and I'm like, I'm done with this girl. Fast forward a couple months later, this girl is pregnant at 19. She ended up popping out a couple kids before she even turned 21 with some bum ass dude. And then she was struggling in life and got fat. So fellas, point of both of these stories is that who ended up winning in the end? Who ended up winning? I'm gonna let you guys answer that question. Oh wait, I'll answer it for you. I did. I was the winner.
I don't know, man. Sometimes, you know, it's it's interesting about that, having a sister that, God rest her soul, had a kid at 18, 19, I think 19. It's never a mistake you have a healthy kid, man. That might be a political thing or something like that for some people, but like, I don't know, taking shots because she had 2 kids, whatever happened with that, it's like,
you don't know the situation.
but that being said, that's just personal for me, because I always think of that, like, people might not plan it, but a lot of people don't end up regretting it. She's not going to go back and go, yeah, he won after I had my 2 little baby daughters or something, you know what I mean? So that's kind of a cheap shot, to be honest. Don't you think?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
A year later, she had 2 babies. It's like,
I won.
But she never was interested. This is the part where it's like, the reality is, there's times in my life where I remember when I lived in San Diego. San Diego is a place, like in my early 20s, like, it's almost like all the best looking people from high school moved to San Diego or LA. Like, and I wouldn't say I was one of them, right? Which is totally fine. I never was like low on confidence or fucking stuck in the corner and being like, oh, I'm too short or something like that.
But you're right. Like San Diego is known to have like just beautiful people there.
Yeah. It's just like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I remember we were having like a house party, like a big house party near the beach, a bunch of friends and shit. And there was these dudes that all played like D1 football. Some friends of mine, they played at San Diego State. Some of them played for other schools, I think Oregon or something like that. But these dudes were like good shape, you know, whatever. What they call chads now. I don't even use that term. And we went out to the car. This girl pulled up in a, it was like a Mustang convertible, like one of the older ones.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah. It's like 18 years ago, 20 years ago when I lived in San Diego. Fucking long. That's great. It doesn't seem like that long ago, dude. And like the girl was like, talking to the one guy that was next to me, and she looks at me and she's like, "Yeah, not you. You're not even cute." I've never had someone talk to me like that before, right? And I remember being like,
And you don't even know this girl?
"No." And she was nothing special. But I remember being like, but I got back to the party, had beers, socialized. Wasn't a big. It was like a 10-second moment, like,
okay.
But the dude was like 6'3", cut up, fucking veins, you know, all that stuff. And he was a cool dude. He's a buddy of mine. We were partying, you know. But like, these are the stories that guys bring up now, and they're like, "This is how women are." Do you understand what I mean? Like, this is how all women are. It's like, nah. I mean, I think that's probably more common now. I don't know if that's true. That's the narrative that's being pushed. Eduardo knows me. I was thinking to myself, I've told this story before, but I didn't carry it. I didn't tell everyone the next day. I wasn't like, I'm gonna get her back or something. I just was like, damn, that was rude as fuck. You know what I mean? Like, right? Yeah. But at the same time, I was like, whatever. Like I said, got back to drinking, partying, whatever. These are the things that were like, I remember this story. I remember and then I saw her a year later, and she had 3 kids. Well, a year later, you can't have 3 kids unless it's triplets, huh?
I took the dub on that one.
I had no idea what this video was, because this video's, he's got 200,000 views since June. You know what I mean? I'm just checking out stuff that's, you know, popular right now. It's kind of funny. Definitely a little bit. Someone's. But my point is like, any girl that wasn't interested in you, just don't take it personal, right? Like, it's like.
And like you said, when you're like early 20s, it's a little harder to do that. You know, teens, when someone's like rejecting you or whatever. And
I didn't feel rejected because I wasn't trying to holler at her. I was just like, I was just going out to the car. Someone pulled up and he came out with her, and we were like, "Oh, you want to come into the park?" And she just, it was just rude.
That's just rude.
But it was nothing like, there's no element of like,
oh my God,
all women are like this. I was like, her as an individual, right? And if I even saw that girl again, which I didn't, it wouldn't even have bothered me.
There's just shitty people out there.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Shitty. You know what I mean?
They're just are.
It wasn't. It's and I wasn't like, oh, next time she sees me, I'll be better. You know, it's like whatever.
Right.
Because I had the mental resolve and the fortitude, because I had the mental toughness to continue to keep pushing forward, working on myself and improve myself. And I realized that any woman who chooses not to mess with me or breaks things off with me, oh, she will regret it in the long run. And fellas, it's the same with you. If a woman lets you go, do not follow after her, do not chase her, do not give her any of your emotion. You're done with her. It's time to move on. It's time to upgrade. So fellas, remember, you are the prize. Continue to work on yourself day in, day out. And fellas, if you found any value in this video, remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and I'll see you all on the next video. Peace.
Talking. Thank you. I was just saying that as we talked for a few minutes about that. Now it's back on, right? So I think the moral of the story is don't chase, but it was less about chasing an ex and just chasing someone you're interested in. And I think that this is where you get more detailed. It's like, who are you in college based on who you are now? I think this guy, I've looked up his website before. I think he's like late 20s, early 30s.
Okay.
And one of the things I have a lot of respect for him for is I think he was a teacher for years. That's what he said in Chicago. He's from Chicago. Baseball player. That's your background.
Yeah.
So I just saw some things on the website. So, I mean, yeah, don't chase. But there's a little bit, like, to me, the idea, like, later on, you're kind of still attaching yourself to her if you're trying to make her regret losing you. Because, if, like, for example, me and you've been friends for a while, right? Let's just say that you know me pretty well. I know you pretty well. Both of us are pretty good to okay with women. I don't want to be, right? Would you, you know what I mean? It's not a, we're not slouches here. And I came to you, I'm like, I'm gonna make this girl regret that she didn't want to talk to me. We were dating for like 3 weeks. You'd look at me probably and you'd be like, really? What happened?
Yeah, I'd be like, what?
I was like, hell, like, she's talking to this other guy, dude. What would be your take? What would you tell me?
I would just say that's totally out of character. One, like I wouldn't. It would just be weird to me that you would be, like that. But yeah, I don't know.
I would, like I said, there's been I don't even take it as, I wouldn't even take it as rejection. I would take it more like you're not interested.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that? I think you're similar in that way.
I don't get too broken up like if someone's not interested in me. It's like, okay,
and it's not even like on to the next one.
But he seems like it's like I'm gonna make this girl regret it, and it's just like, why don't you just get to a place where you don't care if she regrets it or not?
Like I said, people want you to feel what they feel. So if you're hurt, that shines a little bit. I'm not saying he was hurt, but he's definitely took it personal.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, she was talking to this other guy. Okay,
well then let her talk to the
you know
other
what
guy.
I mean? Like,
okay, move on.
I mean, I've had girls that I worked with before that I was like, oh, she's cute, or I've talked to, and then like you see them out and they're with their boyfriend, and you're like, okay, that one's like, I can see how she was a little bit. She has a boyfriend, or this. Like, it's never personal. And sometimes people, I think a lot of times are like, oh, she didn't have to act like. It's like maybe she's just not attracted to you.
Right.
And guys seem to be more sensitive about that than women, because I always tell them, have you ever had it with a woman before? Have you ever had a girl like you,
and you're just not interested,
and you have to be a little rude?
Yeah.
Right. And you or you have to be
not even rude, but like just upfront, or just
not lead them on. I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop talking to them. You probably had it a few times, or you're dating a few times, and then you're like, okay, you're a stage 5 clinger. It's like you just nodded your head. Those are the. You're just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the case here. All right, so spot on. So we had no sound for a little bit. Let me get into the live stream real. Joe Helka says, only cause she got fat, and don't make someone less than I'm not a fat person, but I don't like people expressing it in that way. If it makes him feel better about himself, he has bigger issues than this girl. Mac thought the women were talking to him. Mac thought the women were talking to him. I don't know what you meant by that. I'm lost because I read it later. Yeah, that's a Chad type car. Playing me to the left. I didn't even know what that. I don't even know what that term is.
I think maybe just keeping you on the side or something, or I don't know. That's my guess. I don't know.
On the side of a. Are you one of those? If a girl has a boyfriend, you're not gonna mess with it.
No. I just don't want to play that game. It's
me
fine.
too. I've always been that way too.
Mm.
But it's like playing to the left, meaning like she's talking to someone else, or you're not her number one, or
yeah, like just keeping.
I've always thought to myself, like, especially dudes like in their 20s, it's like, isn't friends with benefits a good thing? Well, I don't want that. And I'm like, wow, you really turned her off there. You know what I mean? Yeah. That you're so hard up for a girlfriend.
Right.
Because there's some girls that are like, God, you're pretty. You know what I mean? It just kills your value, dude.
Yeah.
Best way to get with them is what I call get a life. Have fun, enjoy yourself, go about, do things you enjoy, and you'll meet women along the way. Get a life. Good one.
Yeah.
Oh, Johnny.
Yeah.
I've always said, like, right, everyone always goes confidence is number one. It's like, oh, you're not born with confidence. You just got to be good at a couple things. And one of the ones people are born with is if they're good looking, right? So, like, but here's the thing. They still got someone that's good looking still has to do some things.
You can't just be good looking and then that's your whole life. Yeah.
Right? Like
right.
it's like
But there's
I've
some
met
people that are like that. They don't
well, you have an advantage.
Yeah,
you have
you
advantage
definitely
with
do.
jobs, the way you're treated.
Especially like in the first, like opening the door, you definitely do.
But I mean, have you ever met women that are just total airheads that are hot
Yeah.
or have bad attitudes?
That's what I mean. Like that's all they have.
They still will pull guys.
For sure.
And there's still guys like that too.
Right.
I mean, I've known guys that were, got women and they were like airhead type guys, but they would get women, but who cares? It's you got to work with what you got. Yeah, when I was younger, I was cool with talking to a girl who had a boyfriend, LOL. Well, just remember, you're next if you ever want to get with her long term. So she's not gonna change that ways. I'm just curious. Sometimes it's kind of fun to look at the comments at these that's written. I thought, I don't know. All right, we'll go to Brad Browning, which is a totally different style, and he's like, "Make your ex regret dumping you."
Hey, this is Brad Browning, and today we're going to talk about make your ex regret dumping you. Okay, let's get into it. Before we get started,
I've never seen this guy, so I want to see.
When I first started in this space, right, a friend of mine that did my website and stuff, he's like, "Oh, I found this really good guy that you should model," and he pulled up Brad Browning. I was like, "Hell no, dude!" I was like, I'm just gonna be myself,
Right,
dude. This
right.
is what I do. I help people out. This is, oh man, he's got like 100,000 views. I'm like, dude, this is an infomercial. Guys, like, he's really popular, really popular. Let's take a look at this together, and it's just shocking. All right. He said, "I think he's Canadian." All right, let's see if we can get this up. Go ahead and throw some dough in the super chat if you guys want to. If you want to throw a little tip for me and B's lunch today. If not, it's all good. All right, let's get into this one.
Regret dumping you and want you back, just follow these 3 major steps that I'm going to describe in this video. What's up guys, Brad Browning here. I'm a relationship expert with over 10 years of experience helping people get their ex back. Now I've been known by many names, but the ex back geek seems to be the one that sticks. And that's because everything that I teach is based on scientific data and research. So if you want to learn the most scientifically validated method of getting your ex back, then just subscribe to my channel and get notified when I release new content. Okay, so if you want to make your ex regret breaking up with you and maybe take you back, then you just have to follow these 3 simple steps. Step 1 is to get over the breakup, or at least appear that you've gotten over the breakup. Now, I know exactly how you feel right now. You probably feel heartbroken and helpless, and all you want to do is just stay at home and binge watch Tiger King, right? And while there's nothing wrong with feeling this way, you absolutely cannot let anyone know how low you're feeling. Now, why, you ask? Well, because appearing sad, lonely, and depressed is only going to make you appear less attractive to your ex and to everyone else around you. In fact, if your ex gets wind of your depression and sadness, you'll only confirm in their minds that breaking up with you was the right thing to do. I know it sounds brutal, but it is the truth. See, men and women are attracted to strong, high-value people. People who are naturally high-value, they don't really sweat the small stuff. They tend not to get as heartbroken and depressed because, well, quite frankly, they've got a lot of options. So there's no point getting too down on oneself when the next date is right around the corner, right? That's the mindset that you absolutely must adopt if you want to make your ex regret breaking up and leaving you. But remember, subtlety is key here. You don't want to let the world know that you're doing okay and dating around. Doing so just makes you look strange and insecure. So instead, just quietly on your own, begin the process of getting over your ex and dating other people. Now, I know that you probably don't want to be dating around, but faking it until you make it has its merits. And it'll help keep your mind off your ex, and it'll help you adopt a more confident outlook on life. Now, there's many ways to get over the breakup, but here are a couple of my favorite tips. Number 1, hang out with friends and family. I mean, if you want the best way to get over a breakup, just spend time with the people that you love. Don't vent your heartbreak and frustration with your relationship situation, but instead do your best and try and have the best time possible with them. Try doing activities instead of just hanging out. Play
You had recently.
Brilliant. Number 1. Number 1 in my professional opinion, when you're in a breakup, hang out with friends and family. That'll get you through it. And fake it till you make it in dating. Oh, that's a great one. You know, go out on dates and just fake it till you make it. Now that'll be a big success, I'm sure. Excellent advice.
If you're in that kind of space,
With stock photos of guys hanging out having beers. I'm an anti-stock photo person. Psychological is correct when done correctly. Fake it till you make it. Go out on fake dates, okay. Like, do you vibe with that, B? Do you understand what he means?
yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd be in the right space. Like,
Would you fake it? I don't think you would. I know.
I don't know.
Would you rather wait it out for a breakup? I'm not talking about like making money or learning a skill or a craft.
Right.
I'm talking about your post breakup. You just broke up with your girl and you're gonna go out on a fake.
I guess it would be, dependent on how bad the breakup was, like how bent I am over it. You know what I mean? Like, what space am I in? If I'm in a horrible space, I don't want to be out there like
Just go. Hey man.
just go date and
Hey, just fake it till you make it.
That
All right,
might be a
let me
little
go
hard
with the
for me.
number one
Yeah.
one. Hang out with friends and family. I'm going to go with that one. Wow, brilliant. Okay. Groundbreaking. Is this science-based, by the way?
I want to see the study on that.
Yeah, this is science-based information.
How to get your ex back.
This is
through
science-based.
science.
This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
this is
Yeah.
science-based.
Mhm.
Video games, go for a hike or run, or do whatever hobby or passion that you like to enjoy. But again, do not talk about your ex with your friends. Just try and live in the moment. Number 2, go to the gym and do something active. Now, this is one of the best ways to blow off some steam. Just, hit the gym and pump some iron. Channeling all of your anxiety into something like exercise is a great way to get over your ex and look amazing. Not to mention the hormones that are released when working out will make you feel great too. So try and do a little workout every day, even if it's just a short one, and you'll be feeling better and looking better in no time. Third, pick up a brand new hobby. Nothing gets the mind more preoccupied than obsessing about a new hobby. So if you've ever wanted to play the guitar, now's a great time. Painting, bird watching, computer programming, the possibilities are endless. Just doing something new and exciting will get your mind off your ex in no time. And 4, date around. Yeah, and this is an important one because it's going to play into step 2 big time. So fire up those dating apps, go out and have a good time. Speaking of which, let's talk about step 2, which is to make your ex jealous. Now, if you want to make your ex really regret breaking up with you, you're going to have to incite a little bit of jealousy. Now, I know this may sound a little sleazy and manipulative, but let me tell you, jealousy works like a charm. But the key here is that if you make any obvious plays to make
You know what would be the best question if I ever got to interview this guy? Do you talk like this in real life? Like if we had a conversation, we're hanging out.
Yeah.
Would you be like, hey, Mac, nice to meet you. I'm Brad Browning. Just to let you know, I work out. Here's one. Make them jealous. I know it sounds bad, guys. The question is, Brad, what's going on in your relationship? Would you do these things? Do you think Brad would make him jealous? Brad looks like a pretty honest guy.
He does look like a pretty honest guy.
Ryflint goes, no bigger turnoff than a guy trying to make you jealous.
Yeah, I think
This is always my point when I
Right.
tell clients. I'm like, they're trying to stage an event or they're posting pictures. I said it's fine. It works. It just has to be fucking real.
right, and I think that if it's not, it's a lot easier to be,
Dude,
it's transparent. Like,
But
you can
dude, think
see it.
about this. You've had a couple of relationships, right? Your fucking girl knows you.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like it's
She knows
transparent,
when.
dude.
Yeah, she knows when you're
Right. Like
you-
trying to fake it, dude. Like,
She'll know your eyes in the pic. Like that's just me. Like, so I'm saying if you're really doing things, then just organically post. I'm not a social
Yeah.
media post those pictures or whatever, but staging
but
something.
don't post pictures to be like, this one's gonna get like her attention and back.
But
like,
I have
that's-
had clients that it backfired when they have a woman that's very feminine or sensitive or soft-hearted.
and that'll push them away.
Yes,
even more. Right.
So it doesn't.
Depends on the type.
If
of
it's a
girl.
woman that's really good looking, competitive, independent, attention based,
then
it
maybe
will
she's like, oh, he's winning now. Like, okay, now I'm playing.
it will
this
get
game.
her
Yeah,
attention.
yeah.
But like if you're gonna do it where you're trying and it doesn't work,
and it's not organic, like you said. Yeah.
it kills your confidence and it makes you feel worse, and then you start trying harder. And like I said, and in my experience, if you were together for a few years, she knows that you, like when you broke up, that you were hurt, and you're not going to just all of a sudden be dating, some special woman, right? So it's I don't know, dude.
But like you said, hobbies and stuff, like just to be out there
Just
doing stuff.
just make sure that it's like I said.
It's real,
if you wanna fake it till you make it to date, okay. I would say figure things out a little bit first. Like at least take some time to handle your emotions, but because there's a time sometimes where I have clients where I'm like, it's time for you to like get out there a little bit because you've mourned the situation. There's stages to it, but like the idea that, all right, now it's time to get her jealous.
Right.
According to what I'm telling you, especially in this like packaged, like this is what you do to get her jealous. It's like, oh, this works on every woman or just someone Brad Browning would date, which is someone I probably wouldn't date. Like the girls I've dated before, I'm not saying they're better, I'm not even going to say like, oh, they're all 10s, they're all gorgeous. I think they're pretty good catches. But whoever Brad Browning's dating, I probably wouldn't be interested. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because B's like, I don't care.
I don't.
Make your ex jealous, they're going to see right through it, and you'll blow your chances of making your ex regret breaking up with you. The thing that's great about jealousy is that it indirectly lets your ex know that your life is going well without them. And this is exactly the message that you need to be subliminally sending to your ex to make them feel an insane amount of regret. So without any more BS, let's just jump right into these tips. Number one, like I said in the last section, you need to date around. So fire up Tinder and Bumble and go to town. You don't have to be insanely picky at first. Just go out, have fun, and see what happens. And the more you do this, the more likely it is that you might meet someone that you like and build more confidence for later. And you will need this later, because if you aren't having success with online dating, then try and get a friend to set you up with someone. Don't be afraid to ask for help. There's no time like the present. Number two, gossip with your mutual friends. So if you have mutual friends with your ex, set up a lot of hangouts with them. And during those hangouts, talk about your life. Talk about how well you're doing with work or school. Talk about all of your new hobbies. And especially talk about all the amazing people you've been dating. Now, if this mutual friends
like do all this stuff to like.
Okay, so be fake with your friends.
Yeah. Like this is.
It's like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
If you've ever been through a breakup, right? If you, as a man, too, it's like your best friends. I would hope. I always tell people this: be careful who you do go to, because they can crush you, and they don't even know it. This is a whole nother
really
subject.
Good friends that just don't even know.
Yeah, they're just not sensitive. They're not there at that time,
Sure.
or they just want you to, get back on the horse and go out with them and play, right? Like they just want you to be happy again. But this idea of like going around your friends and using them as the bridge to get the information
It's
back.
like you like you just said, you're using them. Like that's not a good like plan to me. Like it doesn't seem like that's a.
Oh, I was out with this girl last night. Like let me hope that gets back to her through through our mutual friends. That's so lame, dude. And the friends would know.
Oh, they would know for sure.
Here's the thing: if you're in a breakup, assess what end you're on. Like if the friends already like you, like because people are like, her friends love me. It's like, just leave it alone, dude. Do not try to go back to the friends and get votes.
Right.
Like people do that shit.
Right.
It's like the friend already likes you
To like come on my side or
that's one of the number one things. Parents, people always, oh, her mom loves me. Just leave it alone, dude. If that's gonna work in your favor, it'll work in its favor on its own. But
don't try to use that.
even if someone's like, if that's their friend first, it's just they're probably gonna stick with their friend, even if they like you and they think their friend's wrong.
Yeah.
And a mom, I mean, you're like 99 percentile. The mom's gonna listen to you and be there, because I've had clients like, the mom listened to me. I remember this one girl was like, I talked to the mom and she agreed. He's a narcissist. Yeah, but it's still her son.
Right.
It's like, so you went and told the mom. Me and the mom are close. She knows how selfish she is. And it's like, yeah, but she's still going to have him for fucking Christmas dinner. She's still going to take it. You know what I mean? That's her son. Even if she agrees with him, she's not going to. And then here's the thing. If he is a narcissist, just like, what are you doing? Like, be done. And then you think the mom's going to talk a narcissist into getting back with you? People don't take advice on who to date from their moms usually.
Usually not.
It actually will work against you. So
you try to push the other way.
gossiping with friends, I would say this is probably something Brad does with his,
Maybe.
after we went and had lattes
on the coast, and I just dropped the line that I was dating around on Tinder. I dated around. He's got a ring on, right? So I'm just curious how long he's been married.
Yeah. So like, what,
right?
right.
And that if he's even used these dating apps, right? Because he's like, just get on Tinder and Bumble, date around.
Yeah.
It'll work. It's like, have you heard? It's like for some people, it's not that cut and dry. Because if someone's wounded and hurt and they go on 2 really bad dates on one of these things, sometimes they're not ready. They're not ready for that. Some people are. Some people are.
I just don't like the idea of using people as like pawns in, you know what I mean? As like, I'm going to try to get back on my exes or try to,
I mean, on the flip side, there's people, I've never done this, that try to get information.
Yeah.
That's an opposite thing, right?
Like where they're like, what did you doing? Like, yeah,
I've always told people, dude,
What
if
do
you
you
have
call
mutual
that?
friends,
what do you call that? Like a scouting mission or like a
Discovery mission?
A discovery mission, yeah.
I call discovery missions like first dates or discovery missions.
Or being a detective or something like that, trying to see what's going on.
Dude, there's a lot of little detectives out there. But the thing is, if I had friends before when I broke up that were like, do you want me to tell? I'm like, no, I don't want to know. Because I want to get to a point where I don't care.
I don't care. And that's
just
just like,
to me the promised land.
Right.
I want to get to a point where I know we're not going to get back together. He said, did you ever watch The Tinder Swindler? You probably did. You watch a lot of Netflix.
I didn't watch that one.
I
that
saw
one's
it on
just
there.
come up, I think, recently, yeah.
He's like,
But I think, yeah, it looked good.
I'm sure there's a bunch of con men on those things.
I think he pulled a lot of money from a lot of different
Well, I
girls.
mean, there's guys that aren't on Tinder that do that, right?
Oh, yeah. Well,
It's like they always talk about women being gold diggers. There's plenty of them out there. There's dudes that are versed on using women and getting rich girls and using them. I've known guys like that, and so it goes both ways.
Starts blabbing to your ex about how amazing your life has been, don't be surprised if you get a text message or a phone call from your ex talking about how much they regret the breakup. And number 3, subtly use social media to your advantage. You can use Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, or TikTok to make your ex jealous. Just begin posting pictures, snaps, or stories of all the amazing adventures that you've been going on. Let the world know what fancy restaurants you've been going to, what amazing places you've visited, and the new friends that you've been making along the way. Even if your ex isn't on social media, don't worry, keep doing it anyways, because chances are your ex's friends are going to be on there and they're going to let your ex know. And 4th, hit the gym. Now, I know I said to do this in the last segment, but along with working out to get over your ex, you can work out to make your ex regret breaking up with you. Once your ex sees your amazing body and how healthy you are, something will kind of click in their mind and they're going to immediately regret letting you go. And you're going to make them miss sleeping with you. Plus, you're going to feel great, so it's really a win-win. By the way, guys, are you enjoying this video so far? Are you looking for a more in-depth method on how to make your ex regret dumping you? If so, just head over to breakupbrad.com and watch the free full video guide that's on that website. That's breakupbrad.com, and in that video, you'll learn everything that you need to in order to get your ex to feel crazy amounts of regret for leaving you. And finally, number 5, get ahead in your work or school. Think about what defines a high-value person. I mean, think about, who's higher in value in society? The secretary or the CEO? The teacher or the principal? The running back or the quarterback? Climbing up the social hierarchy by concentrating on your work or school is by far one of the best ways to make your ex regret breaking up with you. Once your ex gets wind of your new promotion or your college degree, he or she...
So what is this, like a 7-year plan to make him regret missing you? Yeah, become the principal. What's that take, about 6-7 years? Become the CEO of your company, but you're the secretary. You're the secretary, but go to be the CEO. Oh, is that part of your training? Fucking ridiculous, dude. Give me a break.
And like, go to the
If
gym.
anything, someone's like, so you're a secretary right now, so what do you think about becoming the CEO? It's like, you already didn't have the mindset if you wanted to be a secretary, and it's like, that's going to just make someone feel fucking worse. You know what? Fake it till you make it. And then when you become CEO, he'll regret leaving you. Oh, by the way, it might take you about 10 years. You know what?
Regret it.
Go back, get a master's. That's another 3 or 4 years. Are they going to regret you 3 or 4 years later when they find out you have a master? Give me a break, dude. This kind of stuff, man. better yourself. Hey man, I know I've heard it before, but hit the gym. Okay. And that's another one, right? Totally up for it. Hit the gym, getting some I always just getting some exercise routine for your mind and all that stuff.
We've talked a lot about like just being outside,
being outside, yeah, et cetera, et cetera. But on the flip side, she'll regret losing you. It's like, well, if the dude's like 300 pounds, it's gonna take another 2 or 3 years, and she'll probably be with someone else. Sure. So it's like she's not gonna go, oh my God,
he hit the gym for a week.
Oh,
I totally.
Ralph lost 100 pounds in a month. Oh God, because correct me if I'm wrong. This information's giving the idea that like it'll work right away.
Yeah, that's the thing that's coming off. But you're right. It's like, how long is this gonna take?
Be crazy working.
Right.
Is going to be wondering why they let you go in the first place. Not to mention that you'll immediately be more attractive to everyone of the opposite sex as well. And finally, guys, this brings us to step number 3, maybe the most important step of all, which is to act passively around your ex. In other words, don't actively try to get your ex back. Just play it cool. At this point, if you have been following my advice, your ex is going to be wondering about you. In fact, they may even be reaching out to you to see how you're doing. And if they do this, you have them exactly where you want them. Now is the best time to show your ex that you really don't need them. And the more you show to him or her that you don't need them, the more they're going to want you back. It's kind of like reverse psychology, and it absolutely works.
Okay, a question we got. I want to ask everyone here. Does anyone believe that Brad could play it cool? What do you think?
I mean, maybe, I don't know.
Do you think Brad could play it cool?
If he's been doing it a while, and I don't know, maybe. I'm not gonna sell him short, you know.
All right.
I won't, you know.
I think Brad would. I don't know if Brad could play it cool. I don't know if he could, but like that's the whole thing. Playing it cool is not playing it cool. Playing it cool is I don't care.
Like you're trying, like you
I got other options.
You're trying to get to that point organically, like not it shouldn't be manufactured.
You don't fake it till you make it with playing it cool. You fake it till you make it playing a sport, or starting a business, or stuff like that. I guess, but
it's just gonna come off, fake.
So if your ex reaches out to you by text, for example, don't text them back right away. Wait a few hours or even a full day. And when you do write them back, assume that new happy and confident attitude that you have. Don't rub it in their face too hard. Again, subtlety is key, but let them know that life without them has been amazing. Let them know how great things are going on at work and all the new hobbies that you've picked up. Now, keep your text messages somewhat short and sweet. Don't send massively long, rambling messages to your ex. You still want to uphold the illusion that you're totally over them and that you really don't care if they still like you or not. However, if your ex does not reach out to you, then don't fret. In fact, if you haven't been in contact with your ex for quite some time because you've been working on yourself so much, then that's exactly what you should be doing. If you've watched my other videos, then you know that no contact is one of the biggest tactics to use to try and get your ex back. Now, if you are in this situation right now, there are tactics that you can use to contact your ex and make him or her regret breaking up with you. In my full video guide, I have a ton of tips that will help you do this. So if you haven't already, head over to breakupbrad.com and check out that video. Again, just go to breakupbrad.com. And for this particular video, I'll talk about one really good tactic that you can use if your ex hasn't reached out to you yet, and that is to set up a group hangout. So for this, just chat with a few mutual friends that you and your ex have and arrange a group hangout. Let your mutual friends know that you don't care if they invite your ex or not. If you say something along the lines of, "It's all good if you want to invite blank, I'm totally over it," one person will more than likely invite your ex after you say something like that. And during this group hangout, don't act weird around your ex. Just treat them like a friend. Remember all the tips that we've talked about at the beginning of this video? And that means that you're going to try to have that extremely positive attitude. And you're going to convey to your ex that you're doing really well without them around. Now, if you really want to play dirty, invite a girl or guy that you've been dating, but
This is just assuming that you have a group of friends that are mutual. There's a lot of couples that don't have mutual friends.
Yeah.
Like that are like, did you see the picture of the camp out?
Yeah.
Like, so bad. Oh man, this
I mean,
is.
he is trying to be funny in the video with those.
No, he's not.
No,
He's
I'm
dead
saying-
serious.
I mean, in those like the little clips and stuff.
not the group hangout. I don't think. I think that
But
was
he's
dead
trying to
on.
be funny.
That was dead on. That's what he's intending because he's like, this is what I want you to do, a group hangout. And he shows like marshmallows on the
yeah,
beach.
but
with-
I mean, I think he's trying to.
but
be
like,
funny.
think about the premise of that. Like,
Yeah.
you have a group of friends. Mind you, you might have one or two mutual friends that are strong enough that would even consider doing
Right, to
that.
get to that.
This guy's considering like everyone in the world is Friends, the sitcom.
Yeah. Right.
It's so cheesy, dude. There's such a small demographic on this. And then you go, let's set up a hangout, and then your friends will casually bring up. There's so many moving parts here.
You're
you're like, yeah, go ahead and invite her, and I'll just act like I don't care. Like, how is that? Let's say you've been in no contact, you've been playing the role, you've been playing it cool, and then you see her at a beach cookout.
Yeah.
Here's one. How about this one? What if she brings a guy, Brad? And then you're like,
play it cool. You're gonna play it cool.
you're
then?
like, hey, what's up? Like,
and you're single, and you know.
now, all these kinds of things, putting fun aside, any kind of advice has an opportunity to work. This is what this is what, at the end of the day of doing this a long time, there's no absolute thing that works or doesn't work. Just consider your situation and your demographic, like who you're dealing with, your friends. So it could. Now, I would say one thing that might sound shallow to people, but like it happens in certain relationships. If someone is still like towards the end of your breakup, there was a high level of attraction, meaning that you still had a lot of intimacy. Then there's an opportunity when you're in person. It's gonna be bigger. Like there's a client of mine. I won't go into his details, but he's like special. What do they call that? Special, not like Navy SEALs, but not
Special forces.
Special forces on the tip of my tongue. Special forces, gets women like water, whatever. Women love him. And his ex, and I'm like, she's highly attracted to him. Like he's the type, if he gets present, it could work
There's still attraction there.
because the attraction's so high.
Right. It never really.
It's so much a part of it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Where if the girl broke up with you and she just was flat out not attracted for like a year, which are some relationships.
Sure. Yeah,
There's
yeah.
some relationships where they're like 7, 8, 9 years, 5 years. The guy let himself go or she started seeing other people. And in the relationship, they're not having sex anymore. And you're like, yeah, set up that group meetup. It's like, dude, you're not going to retract from.
Yeah.
But if the person's still attracted to you, then that. And someone's like, "Oh, attraction's not everything." It's not, but in certain relationships, it's the most important thing, but it's the spark, right?
It's a big factor. Yeah.
And it's a big factor if you see each other,
Right.
But if you're playing this game where you're like, you were never together because they were so attracted to you, then it's not going to have.
Or the attraction was lost, or whatever.
Exactly. Does that make sense? So when you get this kind of advice, yeah, it could work if the person finds you really attractive, or within the time that you were gone that you did some makeover or something like that, maybe. But just being able to act regular. But he's not anticipating the fact that you could set up a group hangout and she brings a guy, or she's just cold, or she gets drunk, or you know what I mean, it's all kinds of things.
Be prepared for that.
Like that group meetup, dude.
Introduce him or her simply as your friend. Leave it up in the air as to whether or not you two are dating. Because once your ex sees you two together, their minds are going to be racing and they'll begin to wonder if they've lost you for good. Don't believe me? Well, try it for yourself and you can thank me later. All right, so that just about does it for this YouTube video. If you have any questions at all, feel free to ask them in the comments section below and I'll do my very best to get back to you. Or if you want to step it up a notch and ensure that your ex will be regretting the breakup, you can hire me as your personal breakup coach. And if you are
What do you guys think? All right, man. Let's just take a look at the comments. He really knows what he's doing because he helped me get back my ex, and now we are happier than ever. Thank you, Brad. Okay. Just one of those Fiverr people. After 6 months of no contact, my ex finally messaged me back. Still have a lot of work to do, but her back completely. But Brad's advice works. Focus on yourself during no contact. It will make you feel so much better. Prove them wrong. Literally working out, socializing with friends and family, and adopting a new hobby has helped me with moving on from the breakup during the pandemic situation. Anyone broke up during this quarantine? Let's see here. What makes What makes you unique, Brad, is your well organized and clear ideas. You have an attractive speech. Okay, I can dig that.
Sure.
He is well organized. Can't explain how much your videos have helped me. If you talk about him or her to his or her friends, then your ex might feel uncomfortable, and he or she might feel that dumping you was the right thing. Maybe. Okay, so you have to make clear to your ex that you don't want to be friends with them. Start no contact. But after no contact, you're basically in the friend zone. How does that work? What is the difference? You know what I'd like to see? I would just like reviews on people that went for the group meetup.
Let's find some comments on that.
Yeah, my friend set it all up, and it just worked like cake. Riflin says might work for high schoolers.
With a campfire and stuff. Yeah.
Just posted on Instagram. This isn't the 90s. Sounds like expensive. It's just what the guy has to pay for everything. Could be in the thousands. Group meetup. Is it safe to assume Brad is your arch nemesis? No, not at all. I just find it funny. But you know what? This is funny. You should say that. Eduardo Martinez. Years back, I was in a live stream like this, and I was making a joke about Brad Browning, and someone was like, "Oh my God, I love Brad Browning. He's helped me so much." Like, she went off on the live stream, and she's like, "I can't believe you're making comments about him." I'm like, you know what? You're right.
Right.
Because I'm a strong proponent. Different strokes for different folks. Whatever helps you, totally with it. Totally with it. And the one comment, like the lady's like, he's organized, he talks formal. Yeah, he's polished. That's something they teach in public speaking, is to hold the cup in your hands.
Oh, like to
to stand like this when you're standing. All right, so that was a little bit of fun. That was a little bit of sugar and spice. After 6 months, she messaged him back. How, man, guys, did she hook up with those 6 months? I don't know what that's in regards to. I'm lost a little bit here I'm going to take a quick look at this. Riflin says, Brad, show me a woman this worked on. If 100,000 people used it worked on some people. That's how these things are. So, like, I wouldn't say it's totally crazy. And I would say that Shaun Zachary, like, everyone has their different perspective. Everyone has a different perspective, for sure. It's kind of interesting. It's easy to poke holes in different things. But the group, some of this stuff's kind of funny because I guess what you do is you're like, would that apply to me?
Right.
Everyone's different. Where he refers to high value, there's pics of dollar signs and beautiful women. That's sad. The culture we're teaching people in order for us to be seen as high value. I agree with if Leandra's still on deck. There is something like recently with the cigars and the...
Yeah, that's
like
the
it's
Andrew Tate thing that's kind of going on. Yeah.
Like that it's I have another video with that alpha one that we talked about.
Okay.
I had that on deck, but I don't know if I'm going to show that today. But that's a classic example, dude. But you know what? You just got to make your own culture, your own friends, your own groups, and deal with those kinds of things, and fall into the slot you want to fall in, and create your own code of conduct, is like I like to say. It's just so many people are taking... A lot of these people online are characters. You know, I don't think I think Brad Browning's... He seems like that kind of a...
Genuine, or...
He's just a square.
Oh, like, that's... Yeah.
You know what I mean? A square kind of guy. Someone might call me the same. I don't know. But that's just my assessment.
Sure.
Shaun Zachary seems like a cool dude. I mean, that just seemed like... his video was how to make your ex regret you. That was a personal take that would vibe with a lot of people.
Sure.
I could see that there would be a certain group of people that'd
Sure.
be like, fuck yeah, I had the same thing happen to me. And, you know, to make her miss me. Where Brad Browning, this is infomercial 101. This is,
Right.
you know, let me polish out, you know, with stock photos and things like that. You know, go to the gym, do these kinds of things. Reiterate. All right, anyone have any closing questions? We got 12 on deck. Rob IS, it's always a pleasure. Eduardo Martinez, are you still in Vegas, my friend? Rye Flint, Australia's finest. We got Johnny, New Jersey. Hope things are going better with the wifey. Joe Helka, it's a good thing people get annoying. I don't know. That was the other thing. Make sure you gossip with friends.
Yeah, that's a little. All right.
Your face when he said that, you're like, what?
All right, gossip. All right.
Everyone always thinks too, I never gossip. Everyone has a little bit of a gossiper in them.
Yeah.
Why not? Good advice again. Have fun, but not date until you feel comfortable. That's a great one, Joe
I
Helka.
like that.
Simple,
I like
simple.
that. Yeah.
If you feel, like some people are like, don't. I think in Brad Browning's thing is like, don't ever show your feelings to your ex. And I'm like, I know what he means by that, but at the same time, like, you still got to release, man. Yeah, you're still in Vegas. Thanks, Rye Flint, for haven't heard from Roller Girl. Oh, she was supposed to talk to you because you guys are both in Vegas. Sabina. Sabina, I'm going to be doing, I think you had asked about this specifically, an EFT training certification course with another female coach, actually, probably at the end of October. I'll let you know more about this in a thing, but I think you might be interested in this EFT, emotional freedom technique, the tapping.
You're just getting that structured right now, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be good. It's going to be real good. It's at the end of October, but I think we can do a night in between. Let's see here. Where's T-Mac? The Canadian guy? I don't know. He was always about to buy a property or the guy would come on and he would always talk about buying houses and like money, like Bitcoin and all his money. I'd have to be like, hey, dude, can we give it to this? All right, I'm gonna let you guys go. An hour and a half was good enough today. Appreciate you all. Check if you haven't checked out that story that I just put up there. Let me know your take and put in the comments below if you've listened to the story, what you think about it. I know Rye Flint liked it quite a bit. Kind of a different thing. Might start another channel with it or keep it on this channel. Give me your take, please. I appreciate it. I'll probably be back on deck. W547 still on the. He was up for a TikTok award for like top 100 TikTokers. I was telling you, B.
Okay, yeah.
I think he was like top 100 TikTokers, whatever that means. I'm not. I have a TikTok account, but I'm not active.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't use TikTok, so I don't know. I mean, I guess that's pretty.
I mean, it could be fun. I just, those things are like crack for the mental mind.
Oh my God. That's why
Discord, I don't do. I know. It's just one of those things. It's a lot of time. It's time consuming, man. I live in paradise. I like to go to the beach.
And you don't want to be on TikTok.
I mean, I could do one of these, these infomercials we talked about before, where you're like, be a millionaire, man, have a Lamborghini. It's like Tony Robbins and one of his friends or something. It's like, hey, man, you want to know how to make great money? It's like, we could do a video of like living in Phuket on a world-class tropical beach, and it's like, it's where I live, dude. I have some of those videos on the thing. It's like, it's pretty good. They're asking if B has a channel here.
No, I do not.
When are you back in the USA? Oh, no plans to go back anytime soon. I did 6 months of hard duty. In the States, and I'm blessed to be back in Phuket. I love California, love family over there, but you know what? This has got to be one of the top 10 places to live on earth. I'm just going to throw it out there. That's got to be. Everyone that I've ever met that moves here, that moves to Phuket, there's some people that complain, but they usually just are complainers anyways.
That's just their nature.
Yeah, they're just fucking whiners. Look at it this way. Tell me I'm wrong on this. It's 70 to 90 degrees all year round. Never gets cold. You never get cold. Think about that. What were you saying about that Seinfeld video about the pigs in the blanket? When you get cold dick,
Oh yeah, the famous like Seinfeld episode.
pool dick or whatever
Yeah,
they call.
yeah.
Never get that here. So it's like you're never cold and it's never too hot. What? So 70 to 90. I mean, literally 75 to 85 degrees every night. There's no season for that. Does it rain a little bit? Fine. Amazing. That alone. Then you got the nature. You got the mountains. You got hiking here. You got surfing, fishing, those kinds of things. Food's excellent. It's probably 30% the cost of living of California.
It's just getting here. It's a little expensive. That's the only,
What,
that's
a
the
flight?
main, like the main
A flight?
expense. Yeah.
I live in 4 seasons in one day. In Australia? Really? Is it that cold?
Well, we can like back in the Bay Area, we had like microclimates. Stuff would come over the mountains and it'd be
Doesn't snow though.
No, it doesn't snow like right in the.
Think
Bay,
about that
but-
though. It's like it doesn't like snow's different.
But we were like an hour and a half from snow. It's not that far.
Vegas never interested me. 118
Yeah.
in Vegas during the peak of summer. Where my parents live in Northern California, they said it's well over 100 every day. It's like you can't go outside.
Oh, Arizona. My parents moved there, and it was like 120.
Really?
Yeah, dude. It got up there.
So you can only go out for like 10 minutes, and then you go in the AC.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, the weather alone, food's great. Thai culture is great. Like people are nice. We talked about this before. Extremely safe. Extremely low on theft. I don't know. I don't even know what the numbers are. I wouldn't even know what the data is on that. Probably 0.01% of homeless. There's no homeless.
I never see any homeless.
Yeah. Oh, my neighbor's from Melbourne, Rye Flint. Yeah, Melbourne's supposed to be really nice though. I've heard good. It's like San Francisco. It's very expensive though. From what I've heard. Mac, do you miss hearing your parents bickering? Their landline phone going off every couple of minutes during your live stream. Well, I was doing my live stream at my parents' house when I was there for a few months.
They still have landline?
and my mom has a fucking landline with an old school cell phone. She got rid of the corded phone.
Yeah, she
and
got
it would
the-
go off. And on top of it, you'll like this little dandy, is an answering machine was attached to it.
Okay, that's
And so the answering, and people would leave messages.
that like play in the background. that you
Yeah,
can
and it'd
hear,
be like,
yeah.
oh, this is so and
here
so
we go.
from so and so doctor. Da, 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 da.
Right. Yeah.
That's so funny because you're like,
Yeah.
who has a landline now? It's like, and I would tell my mom, and be like, hey, why didn't you get rid of the line? It's like, I'm not getting rid of the landline. I like having a number. Da, da, da. It's like, all right, whatever. It's like, you have a cell phone though that's and cell phone service in America is ridiculously expensive.
My parents still use
Landline?
AOL.
My mom uses AOL too.
She has the AOL, or they have the AOL. Like
My mom
.com.
paid for AOL email for like 5 years.
I think my mom did too. Yeah.
Remember the original internet?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how people. My mom's like, I don't want to give up my email's name, and I'm like, you can get one from a different email probably.
Use the same basic thing. Yeah.
It's funny.
Well, I was told like I have a Yahoo, and I was told, hey, that's old. Like
Yahoo seems
I was
old, but I mean, as long as you're not paying a monthly.
Yeah.
I was shocked when I was like,
They're
AOL
still
charges
paying?
you a monthly for an email?
Right.
Oh, yeah. And my mom was just like, aren't you supposed to? I'm like, no.
Go find.
Who told you that? This was years ago. This is like
Yeah.
10 years ago. I told that story before on this channel. I don't know.
That's funny.
All right, folks, it's lunchtime. Thanks for riding. Thanks, Eduardo Martinez, Rye Flint, Rob IS. Who else do we got on here? Rye Flint, Johnny, Joe Helka. Hopefully be back on deck tomorrow if everything goes right. Love Canada. Canada's
I've never been to Canada.
never been to Canada?
Never.
Nice people. We knew a few Canadians
I was
over
a
here.
snowboarder, so I always wanted to go hit up the mountains and like.
Oh, Whistler's supposed to be
that's
it.
where I
Yeah,
wanted
it's
to go.
funny because meeting
Yeah.
people from Whistler, they sound like they're from Southern California.
Oh, really? They have that.
Dude, what's up?
Yeah,
like,
kinda laid back, right.
like, let's charge it. like,
Yeah.
we just these guys are. I met them here in Phuket before. I'm like, guys from Southern California. Like, nah, Whistler, dude. We're just out here for a minute, you know, like 420. Yeah. Yeah, they're like that.
Right.
I've never been to Whistler though, but that's
Seems
a
like
place
it's-
with a lot of people that just move there just for that.
Seems like it's like a Aspen or something like that, right?
Never been to Aspen either.
Has that.
I'd
Same.
just rather go to. Growing up in Cali, you just
Well,
go
we
to
have
Tahoe, right?
Tahoe,
Or
yeah.
in Southern Cali, go to Big Bear.
Tahoe is one of my favorite places in the world. I love
Tahoe's
that
pretty
place.
nice.
Yeah.
They've kept it nice too. Like they didn't pollute it or anything like that. I'm just not big in gambling though. When I'd go with friends, never been a big
I'll
gambler.
drop some money.
You drop some
I'll
gambling
drop
money?
some money on poker, but not anything else. But
Any UFO sightings in Phuket? I don't know. I wouldn't even know. I'm one of those. I've never seen them, but I don't.
there's been a couple times I've been driving, not in Phuket,
And you've seen
but
a UFO?
Not here, but I've been like,
Wow,
what,
this is-
what is that? You know, just like a weird light in the sky, and I'm like, whoa.
I'm one of those. I'm not saying UFOs aren't around, but no, I've never seen one. But I've
Have you seen the videos that have come out, like, you know, within the last year, like about, you know, they look like
If
triangles.
you really are into that rabbit hole, and interesting, there's a psychic called Ted Owens, and I was just
Ted Owens.
yeah, and he's supposed to make you he made UFO sightings. He predicted making them happen, and it's called the PK Man.
What do you mean by
Jeffrey Mishlove wrote. I don't know because I like the stuff I watch on YouTube.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like parapsychology. I'm not really big on YouTube.
Like ghosts and stuff like that, or
Parapsychology is also like psychokinesis,
okay.
psychic events, clairvoyance. That's I don't know. It's like a secret
the-
interest of mine.
What was the guy that we were talking
Edgar
about?
Casey.
Edgar Casey, yeah.
Who
Really,
Corey
really
Wayne likes him too.
Like really interesting to read.
Those
about
are
that.
interesting.
Yeah.
I've had some synchronicities in my own life and doing hypnotherapy, some interesting things. But UFO, I'm not saying ghost. I'm not saying they're not. It's just not something that I, you know, when you go down these rabbit holes on YouTube or one of these things. Remote viewing of the future is pretty interesting. Do you know what remote viewing is?
No.
Remote viewing is something the government used to have a whole circuit for, where basically you could find targets or find what's going on in the future or in the past. It's pretty interesting, actually.
But they have programs for it in the government.
They have programs for it. You didn't know that?
No.
There was a movie years back called Men That See Goats or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah, I did
It
see
wasn't
that.
a very
Actually,
good. It
was
wasn't a
Brad Pitt,
very
I
good
think.
movie.
Brad Pitt was in it.
I don't think Brad Pitt was in it. I think it was Jeff Bridges. I could be wrong, but that's out of Palo Alto. That's out of Palo Alto.
It is interesting though. I do I do like those, you know, kind of secret government programs, you know. That,
Yeah, remote viewing is like it's just one of those things you can, you know, watch. You could watch a bunch of videos on where like some people like ghosts, some people like UFOs. UFOs have never been a direct interest too much.
I think it's
I'm not
interesting.
saying it's not true though.
no, I think the UFO thing is interesting. I just haven't gone down the rabbit hole.
I
of
think
doing it.
I personally think, and this is when I say I think means I don't know. So always remember this, folks, when you're watching anything. The minute someone says I think means they don't know. It's just pure opinion. Now, hypothesis is like an expert thinking, right? Now, for UFOs, I think a lot of the sightings, not all, are military aircraft that you don't even know about from multiple countries. That's what I think. I think there's some pretty high-tech stuff out there that's classified that you don't know about. Look at this stealth bomber. You know, like that's, you wouldn't even fathom what that looks like, right? But remote viewing is a totally different thing. That's an interesting one. Like if you're really interested in that, the Dean Radin's a person to look up. And I forgot the other guy's name. Are we ignorant to believe that with the entire universe we're the only one living? I think UFOs are a phenomenon, same as paranormal. So this is what's interesting. Thanks for still being on deck, Leandra. How you been, by the way? Leandra and I did a coaching session years back. I think being skeptical is okay, because skeptical means like you're not, it's not true.
Right.
Like you're not angry about it. You're like,
well, here's why I think it could not be the case.
right. Like in other words, I'm not sold.
Right.
And I'm skeptical about faulty information. Like if you just showed me some fucking Polaroid from your grandpa's cupboard drawer, and you're like, "Oh, grandpa saw a UFO in '84, and here's the picture." It's like that's not enough for me.
But the only problem with being a skeptic is you can block out some of the things that are.
When I say I'm an open skeptic,
Right, okay,
I'm not a negative one.
Right.
Like I'm skewed.
Right.
I'm really neutral. That's
Right.
the word. I'm neutral, but I'm not going into it like, yeah, I'm all in. You know. But do I believe that there's something? I just don't know if it's a UFO, if it's other life, but like saying that there's another universe, all those things, I just haven't studied or put time into that.
Have you just seen the videos that have been out like recently that they've released in the last like year or so?
Not too many, no.
I'll have to
So,
show- I'll
so the
find
funny thing, what I was going to say about this, Dean Radin, who's written quite a few books, like Super Normal, Real Magic, and they're good. They're science-based, right? And he said one of the biggest things, this is really interesting, and this applies to most of your life. He said when you go and do like he would do talks at academic events, different things, and he would talk about parapsychology. It could be about ghosts. It could be about I think what he does a lot of is like remote viewing and how intention leads to results. So they would do tests like dice, right?
like think of a 7 or something.
Yeah,
or a
yeah,
6 or
and
whatever.
the power that would come up. So these kinds of things, but he would work with ghost things and different things. It's a wide variety. He worked for Noetic Sciences, and what he would say is, in order for if you tell everyone all the research, the data or data, depending on what country you're from that you use that word, he would say you could do all that, but the only way really someone believes is if they feel like they saw it before.
Right. They saw it with their own eyes.
So like you could have 100 people in the crowd, 20 of them that were devout believers were like, I saw a ghost at grandma's house, right? So that's kind of interesting because I could sit here and show you this book and tell you all these things, but I didn't experience it yet. And that's kind of how people are as human beings with everything. It's like, you can tell me that. Some people are impressionable. Some people are like that, but most people have to experience them themselves. So
I'm not sold unless I've seen it with my own eyes. Right?
Yeah, and I'm pretty open to the fact that there's probably is UFOs. For some reason, it's just never been a big interest of mine. Science fiction movies aren't one of my favorites.
See, I love.
I know a lot of people love them. I'm not. It's just not something.
Right.
But for some reason, psychic stuff.
That
I don't know why. Like
piques your
remote
interest.
viewing. You know, like those kinds of things. Noetic Sciences is pretty interesting because an astronaut started that, and it's just research on remote viewing and different things. It's a big rabbit hole to go down, but it's intention is huge. Well, look at how many times in your life you have synchronicities. It was a couple weeks ago, and B was over here. He was working on something for me, and I mentioned a mutual friend's name, and he was like, "I'm texting him right now." Now, total coincidence.
but
There's no big use in that.
no.
But I do believe that your thoughts are not necessarily in your brain. I think that you connect to things outside of that. I think that there's like a wavelength, just like the internet. How does the internet work? That's kind of interesting, isn't it? Like that we send messages, we're talking like this. I've had clients before like, "Oh my God, I'm talking to someone in Thailand right now. I'm in Oregon. Like, how does this even work?" Right? So why would you think that you're like all the thoughts you carry are just in your head? I don't know. I think that we do have a super conscious kind of a thing. Now I'm getting way off topic here, but I'll search up C2C, Rob. Thanks. But that kept everyone engaged, huh? There's a new channel for you. UFOs in Phuket. Okay, let's get into it. All right, folks, it's been good. It's been grand. It is Curtains. Appreciate you all. Take care.
See you guys next time.